longer receiving uploads. This is a video that I really regret having to make. It's one that makes me sad, in fact, because the future of this channel is in serious jeopardy. There's a very good possibility that this time next year, the Ek Hockey channel is no longer receiving uploads, and unfortunately, it's due to the actions of the NHL itself. So I'm going to ramble in this video. I don't know what I'm going to put on for video. It may be very random, but I hope you listen. So as a bit of backstory, I started this YouTube channel during the 22-23 NHL season. Since then, we've uploaded 902 videos, accumulated almost 100 million views, and fostered a community of over 140,000 subscribers. The channel is run by myself, my name is Justin, and Brandon, who helps with the writing and the editing. If you watch enough, you probably recognize when I'm reading something Brandon wrote versus my own analysis. Either way, this channel was a part of a new wave of hockey content creators, and I honestly think that together, we've really given some energy to the hockey YouTube scene. Not to say that there weren't great creators like The Hockey Guy, like Steve Dangle, like 2BC Productions, and others. There certainly were, and really our channels are only possible because of their work. However, I also think it's undeniable that the hockey YouTube scene is blowing up through creative and well-made content. I include my own here. I include the likes of my friends Hockey Psychology, O Nyquist, Johnny Hockey, and others. Anyway, to cut to the chase, all of our YouTube channels have been affected by the NHL's recent decision to claim all revenue from any NHL footage used as a part of overall analysis. What that means is that the NHL has slowly been going through both my backlog and also new uploads, immediately copyright claiming them and taking all of the revenue. Hockey Psychology has also told me that for some of his videos, which are really well made, they're long, they're high effort, they're also outright blocking them, which to me is just ludicrous. Now, I've been doing YouTube for 8 years now, which is crazy. I have other channels. I've dealt with my fair share of copyright claims in the past, literally thousands, but this is different. This is a guy who works for the NHL, and I can tell this, manually going through our backlogs, claiming videos without any real thought. And I'll put a comparison on the screen. This is what the NHL claims look like. It's just a blanket copyright claim across the entire video. This is done by a person, whereas one of my other claims on, say, my Star Wars channel, you can see it's the system identifying the visual data, claiming it, and I can either appeal or whatever. So what this means essentially is that I can no longer use NHL footage in my videos. Now, it's my belief that my videos and that the videos generally of these other creators are fair use. What's more, I've created content for the NFL, the NBA, the PWHL, the CHL, the NCAA, and many other leagues. The only one I've had trouble with besides the NHL is American college football. The NHL here, in my honest opinion, is shooting itself in the foot. Us as creators, I think, are doing a great job of marketing the game, of keeping people interested in the game. In an age of blackouts, 82 game seasons, 32 teams, I've heard so many times that my viewers, that the viewers of these other channels rely on our content to keep their interest in the NHL high. And I relate to this. Obviously, I watch a lot of hockey now, but when I was in law school, for example, I completely lost touch with what was going on, especially with the Rangers, which, I mean, they were going through a rebuild, it's fine. But had this content existed back then, I would have watched it. And I don't think I would have had the same black hole of missing hockey for several years like I do now in my past. Obviously, I came back to it, but some don't. Some do because of our content. You know, this is something that sports in general are starting to realize, but the NHL is just so far behind. Like I said, I've got other YouTube channels. Video game companies beg us to cover their games. Games which have single-player stories you can experience once, versus the NHL where no one's really watching old games. Like, we're not restreaming games here or just posting games outright or even just clips without commentary. We're breaking down the NHL so those who can't follow it as closely can still get their hockey fix. I model my approach after, say, SportsCenter, because that's the kind of content that I enjoyed watching. I liked getting a feel for the game if I missed it. Others, like Hockey Psychology, do a great job of using their expertise to break down trends and coaching decisions and systems in a way that, for example, I don't have the knowledge to. And there have been months where my YouTube channel will reach a third or a half of the views of the NHL's official channel alone, with just a fraction of the uploads, just two guys working in our basement. When you have the rest of these YouTube channels who are also being affected, and I'm talking dozens, the NHL is seriously disincentivizing what I genuinely think is a great way to keep especially younger fans engaged with the game. But there's honestly more than just that which really frustrates me. It's not just that the NHL doesn't value our contributions, or the NHL doesn't think what we're doing is fair use, or doesn't want us to be able to contribute in this way, but they've also just, in my experience, outright rejected me personally every step of the way. I applied to the NHL for a media badge so I could occasionally do what I do with CHL games, give the lived-in experience of going to a hockey game with the analysis on the side. They rejected my application within 30 minutes. At the time, we were pulling in 10 million views a month. They didn't value that. All right, fine. I applied for a job with the NHL's digital social media, a job that I am undoubtedly qualified for. I've ran several YouTube channels for nearly a decade, well, 8 years at this point, accumulated hundreds of millions of views, and I'm a lawyer. I can't get a right back. I've emailed to the NHL's licensing team, the NHL's marketing team, the NHL's outreach team, trying to do something so I wasn't sort of an outlaw on the fringes working with content in a way they might not like, and they've never responded to me. So that's extremely frustrating because I do think that the NHL is behind when it comes to video, when it comes to the digital age and marketing. There are great channels. I think bar down, obviously they're TSN, not the NHL itself, but they do a great job. For example, I think Spit and Chicklets, 32 Thoughts, there are lots of great productions, but there's room for so much more. Look at the NFL, look at the MLB even. These are the NHL's direct competitors, and they're losing the war. I think I know how to help. I think that many of my fellow creators know how to help. You don't want to listen to our advice? That's fine. But right now, you've removed the thing that allows me to take time away from my other jobs to make NHL videos, because that's what it comes down to. I've got multiple YouTube channels. I've got 3 kids. I can't pussyfoot around and maybe get videos monetized if I want to upload at the same rate. I also don't want to move away from using footage. I think it's great that channels like The Hockey Guy and Steve Dangle have made that choice for themselves. It's smart. They don't want to wrangle with the copyright gods. For me personally, if I can't make this content which I think is engaging, where the clips add a lot of value, where you can see what I'm breaking down, it's just not worth it. And again, I won't play around with the NHL's dumb rules. I've got a lot of talents for YouTube. I've got many other YouTube channels. I will put my time elsewhere to a medium where I can make content that people want to watch without having to deal with dinosaur rules. And to be clear, that's not a shot at those who don't use video. Like I said, I think their style works for them. But I had a vision for this channel, and the people that come to watch it expect the content as it's made. I don't think I'd ever drop this channel because I love hockey so much, and making these videos has reinvigorated my love of hockey. I didn't get to play as a kid. I've actually used some of the money to buy a full set of gear, and now I do play beer league, and that's honestly one of the great joys of my life. I didn't make this public, but another example, I donated, or the channel donated, $10,000 to my local minor hockey league last season. We've raised money for ALS, for cancer. We've built a community. Overall, it's just been excellent. Like, that's how I feel. It's just been excellent. But again, 3 kids. I've got to make smart business decisions. And you probably already noticed I uploaded far less in December. It's just not worth it. I can't when I've got other things I need to do. And that's not a threat because maybe they don't care. But I think they should. And I think the NHL is being incredibly short-sighted and risks removing just a group of people who, yes, are profiting. I'm not going to lie. We're able to do this because it's a job, because it makes money, because we can talk and edit hockey videos and it pays the bill. But we are also, I think, giving back. This should be a symbiotic relationship. The NHL doesn't see that. They think we're parasites and pariahs. They would rather take the money themselves from the videos, because that, of course, is the other part. The NHL is not only preventing us from monetizing the video, they're actually taking the money themselves, and I guarantee right now the NHL is making far, far more money off of our claimed videos than they are for their poorly edited, lazy uploads on the NHL YouTube channel. Listen, I'll teach you how to be successful at YouTube. This is what we're all doing, usually with 1 or 2 creators for each channel. Imagine what the NHL could do with all of its millions of dollars and editing teams without having to spend the time copyright claiming other YouTubers. I'm frustrated. I love hockey, but I don't love this from the NHL. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. I've got an interview probably tomorrow with Global and maybe some other outlets. I'm really surprised at how big this news is, and I appreciate all the support. We don't have a hashtag or anything, but just support the content creators you love, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.